to the podcast, hablemos de lo nuevo. 40Gs, G's que pasan el terreno. Vienen jugadores y se van, traiga lo nuevo a huevo. Doesn't matter where you from, Salvador, Mexico, Honduras, Nicaragua. Todo mi latino, come and listen for an hour. TikTok, que traemos lo que quiere, todo lo que pasa dentro y fuera de las redes. Really? You don't know what it is. Reportamos con la lupa what we see at the digs. En las buenas y en las malas yo diré la verdad. Si cometen un error o tienen habilidad, la calidad del rival cuando viene a jugar. Facts. Yo no me muerdo la lengua. Got love for the crest in the city I came from. Los campeones de campeones y con copas mi race. No empezamos, empurgamos, soy la voz de LA One. Soy la voz de LA One. Love. Yeah.
Hello, hola, and buenas, and welcome back to another episode of La Cuna Galaxiana. Gracias de nuevo por estar con nosotros, escuchando este podcast hecho con mucho amor para todos ustedes. Wherever you guys are, wherever you are, LA Galaxy fans and La Cuna Galaxians, thank you for being with us once again. We truly appreciate it. And yeah, we have a new tournament to talk about today. We're going to be previewing the Los Angeles Galaxy's first game of the League's Cup, an away match against their oldest rival, the San Jose Earthquakes, on Wednesday, July 31st. That will set the tone for LA and how they will approach this tournament and what they will do in this tournament. But before we get into all that, let me introduce myself. I'm one of your co-hosts, as always. My name is Rob Halon, and you can find my written work at Extra Time Talk, and you can find me online at El Escudero, the LA. And then, of course, my co-host, El Yerno Guapo and Gitano Perdido. Ooh, Papa. We got some stuff to talk about today. Let me bring them back to you. Ananda Kirana. ¿Cómo te sientes, Papa? It was a week off, man.
It was a week off. I was like, yeah, man, this chair feels weird. Like I was trying to, do the buttons and set up the show and everything. I'm like, wait, I can't remember what I'm doing. Wait, how do I do this again? It's only been a week. It's like when you come back off of like a, like a long work vacation, right? And you log into your machine and you're like, wait, what's my password again? Like, where did I, like, it's like one of those moments, right? But happy to be back, Papa. Happy to be back with everyone in chat. So before we start, I just want to say what's up to everyone in chat. What's up, the one and only Rocio? Buenas, Ramizes.
Buenas.
What's up, Raul G? And yeah, what's up, everyone in chat? Indeed. And of course, G-Cam with the Long Live La Cuna Galaxiana pod from La Taqueria Raquinho. There you go. That's going to make you happy.
Oh, man, that's a taqueria I want to visit for sure.
And then saludos and buenas noches to you, Ed. I'll be listening to the replay tomorrow morning. Muchas gracias, man. And yeah, we are doing great. Thank you for stopping by and saying what's up. But no, man, we had a week off, but you know what? I actually had a lot of soccer this week. As you guys know, there was a couple of exhibitions here in LA. One of them was at Dignity Health Sports Park, actually. But for, my team on the other side of the pond, that would be the Arsenal. They played an exhibition against Manchester United on Saturday at SoFi. I mean, we both won and lost. That's just kind of how it goes in exhibitions. Won in regulation, but lost in penalties. But man, I just got to say, like, that to me, as being a football fan and of course being like a podcast person, like, shout out to my boy Jay, who first invited me out to SoFi. So I was reveling in the food and bev there, which was amazing. But I don't know, man, life just it just happens in funny ways sometimes. It's serendipitous. I had a very serendipitous day. Long story short, I basically spent half the day with people that I look up to be honest, in the podcast
Some community. Of your podcast heroes, man.
Two big Arsenal podcasts, Arsenal blog. I don't know if there's, all you guys that are listening to this playback, if you are Arsenal fans, go ahead and check out Arsenal blog and Arsenal Vision podcast. Arsenal Vision is ran by a guy. His name is Elliot Smith. He is US based, and they've been doing it. They've been in the game for over 10 years, Rob. So they definitely know what they're doing. They've got a huge following, and I was just reveling in that day and just learning from them. And I was, we were having drinks and hanging out and talking football and whatever. But, it's more than anything, it was just like the humanity of it all and how gracious they were as people. And I made a couple of new friends, right? So that I still think about it to now. And like I said, life works in mysterious ways sometimes. So had a great week, man. But I'm back. Can't wait to talk LA Galaxy because, like you said, we got a lot of things to talk about and think about heading to this League's Cup.
Well, shout out to those boys from the Arsenal. Oh, what is it, Ars blog or Ars pod?
Yeah, our Ars blog and Arsenal Vision podcast.
Shout out to those boys and for taking care of Ananda here and making sure that he had a great time watching the jewel of all Europe, Manchester United, over the weekend. So
who got 2 injuries? Unlucky. Anyway,
yeah, I mean it starts already. It starts already, you know. But yeah, man. You actually have some housekeeping to get through beyond, you know, the shenanigans with this weekend. This cat, I don't know if y'all knew, but this cat was rich Galaxy fan sitting up in the VIP.
Oh man, that's just luck, Papa. Every dog has its day, you know, that like you always tell me about my team. So every dog has its day. But anyways, I got some housekeeping. So guys, you can always follow me, block me, or stalk me at Ananda Galaxiana. And of course, you guys can find us on all of your socials at La Cuna Galaxiana. And everyone jumping into chat, welcome back. And if you're new around here, welcome. Bienvenidos. And yeah, I hope you guys have fun listening to this episode. And of course, if you like what you're listening to, go ahead and give us a shot, guys. Hit that subscribe button. We are, we're almost at 250 subs right now, Robert. And we're just moving up the chain. Just trying to get a little bit better by
slowly but surely.
Slowly but surely.
La Tortuga that won the race.
Step by step, exactly. But guys, just go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And as someone said, that was Raul G. Hit that like it owes you money. So there you go. Hit those likes, guys. And of course, as Robert always says, put someone on. Go ahead and share this podcast with your tíos, your tías, your abuelitas, your abuelitas, tus vecinos, tus hermanos, tus primos hermanos, everyone, bro, everyone. Y tus perritos también, especially if you talk to Robert, eso está incluido siempre, ¿no?
Yeah, all day.
All day, every day. And of course, guys, and Roberto, como siempre, antes de olvidarme, buenos días, tardes o noches. Y bienvenidos a otro capítulo de La Cuna Galaxiana. Vámonos, man. This is a League's Cup edition, and we got the Smurfs coming up, so let's get it.
Yes. Well, I don't know if you guys have caught it. If you guys have not, the homie Ananda and the homie El Profe Alex Reus, they did put out a new series called Los Gatácticos. And the first one is on Gabriel Peck, who is currently lighting it up for the Galaxy. So if you want to know how he's doing it, go ahead and check it out. There could be another one on the way about a certain German player who could be coming from Dortmund. Depending on who you believe, could be in Los Angeles as soon as tomorrow. But anyway, that's just a sneak peek for you guys. Go ahead and check that out. And then really the reason that I'm here, Ananda, there's really there's really not a lot of things that I'm just like, okay, this is like high priority, number one thing. It's like, anything related to Galaxy Mom, cause she's awesome. Another thing is like anything related to like Joe Tutino, definitely anything related to Raquinho for damn sure. And then like pretty much the other big one is Don Raul 96, of course. And it was the great man's birthday recently, yesterday, in fact, at the time I was recording, so Sunday. It was Don Raul's birthday. If you have been lucky enough to see this man down there by the touchline, working, interacting with players, I mean, it's just a godsend. I mean, he is an institution. He is part of the Galaxy, but of the rich history. Every single player that has come through those doors has been beholden to this man, this great man, Don Raul Vargas. And man, I hope he had a beautiful day. I hope you spent it with your family. And man, they threw you the most wicked carne asada ever. And man, that's really all I got to say. Hopefully, if you guys are watching this, that first picture that he's in, where it shows the 20, where it shows the MLS Cup champions, the years, and then it shows 20, and then blank. Hopefully that one gets filled in this year with 2024. It would be wonderful to see Don Raul smiling and happy. So happy birthday to him. And a happy birthday to Phil Hanschutz, who owns the Galaxy, because it's not his birthday, but it might as well be, because the Galaxy are listed now as the third most valuable MLS club in the league. So they are valued currently at $950 million. Not an insignificant pocket change, Ananda. Just if I could get anybody to give me a loan of, just like 95 million, not even 950 million, Jesus. But this club is close to approaching $1 billion. This is, of course, via Forbes, guys. So there are two clubs valued at more than the Galaxy. LAFC is one, Inter Miami is another. Those clubs are valued at more than $1 billion right now. Galaxy steadily approaching. You can imagine, though, if they do win that Sixth Cup this year, or get close, or make a deep run in the League's Cup, that that profile goes up a little bit. So
yeah,
everything starts with the results on the field, right?
Yep. And we've got some valuable players, it looks like, which we'll talk about later.
Yeah. And well, one of the reasons that this club is valued so highly is because they have
they keep raiding our wallets. That's pretty much.
Yeah, exactly. Because they have dedicated fans that are going out there and buying merch. Well, guys, if you thought that this club was done dropping fire merch, you were wrong. They were not playing around when this said it was like a 60+ piece drop. I mean, you saw the bulk of it drop on the first day. Then you had the Nickies exclusive with Moving Silence, shout out, and now you have the retrograde varsity jacket by Live Breathe Football. This one's going for $2.99, guys, available at the Team LA store and online right now. They're just doing pre-orders. That window ends August 5th or until they're out of stock already. The 2Xs are out. So if you are a More to Love G, then it looks like you may be out of luck already. All orders will be shipped out already for pickup approximately 8 to 10 weeks after the pre-order window closes. If you are lucky enough to get your hands on this jacket, you are truly blessed. This one is absolutely lovely.
8 to 10 weeks, man. That's perfect for the fall winter season. So there you go. Perfect for the playoff run, guys. So there you go.
Jesus, this is lovely, man. Like honestly, like this is one of the ones that I'm just like, dang. Do I risk the fade from wifey and get this one? Nah, but
well, I'm assuming this is going to be one of those like collector's items too down the road, because usually Letterman's jackets or varsity jackets, they're pretty rare pieces, I would imagine. So yeah, this is going to be in the collector's locker for quite a long time. So yeah, $2.99.
Catch this one going for like a rack in a couple years on eBay and stuff like
that. If we win the chip this year, yeah, it very well should.
Well, the retrograde varsity jacket is now out, guys. Like I said, if you're lucky enough to get this one, like Ananda said, this is a collector's piece. Go ahead and cherish this one. This one, like I said, is beautiful. I'm all kinds of flummoxed that I'm not able to get my hands on this one. And then, as if the Galaxy wasn't being unkind to our wallets already, they go drop more merch. I mean, this is league wide, but the Galaxy have now dropped their Hispanic Heritage pre-match top. I don't understand really what makes this Hispanic Heritage, but I like the design. I don't understand what makes it Hispanic Heritage, but I like the design. It's cool color scheme. I'd rock it for sure. But yeah, I don't know what makes it Hispanic. Maybe the fact that Diego and Julian are in the jersey. I don't know. But
no idea, man. You guys are as good as mine.
Yeah, no, I have no idea. But yeah, no, I would wear this. And if somebody was like, oh, that's a different jersey, I'd be like, oh yeah, they decided to do something different. Because if I said it was Hispanic Heritage, they'd be like, how? I'd be like, I don't know. But anyway, so as if your wallet wasn't already crying out for relief and a help with this jacket, with this pre-match top, there is also a blue, white, and gold pop-up that your wallet must navigate. And guys, I'm telling you, I mean, you have a lot of incredible creators that are going to be there. Moving Silence, we already mentioned, who did the exclusive Nikki's drop with the Galaxy. They're going to be there. 1-2 Threads, of course, and Yanos from 1-2 Threads are going to be there. I mean, all your supporter groups are going to be there. Ananda and I both have a piece of Godinho art in our home. He's going to be there. There's a pot lady who's going to be there. I mean, a lot of the Galaxy creators that you know and love. Go out and support. That's happening on Saturday, August 3rd. So just a couple of days away, from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. at Absolution Brewing in Torrance. One of the ones that we did not mention, but we would be remiss if we did not. FU USA, FU Labs, they are celebrating 1 year. Congratulations to them, because all their designs are absolutely fire. I mean, as if FU USA didn't already know that, he has tons of players from the Galaxy rocking his gear. So that's got to be that instant validation. These Galaxy players are actually wearing this gear. They're loving it. I mean, one of my favorite t-shirts is that Lakers t-shirt, man. So happy 1 year anniversary. May you continue long. I can't wait to see what you're making 2-3 years down the road. So yeah, happy birthday to you as well. Liga G update. We saw Diego Fagundes on the screen a couple moments ago in that Hispanic heritage jersey. Diego, not only does he pose in jerseys really well, like a model, but he also has time to hang out with some G's, and he was a special guest for match week 4 with Manny and Galacticos. Shout out Manny and Outlaws. And Diego just settled in with them and played the match day with them, which is super awesome of him. When we were in Austin, guys, I mean, all the fans there would let us know that that's Diego. If you hit him up and go, hey, we're playing pickup, he'll roll through. So, and here's evidence of it. I mean, they hit him up. Hey, do you want to play? He was like down, and he got on. And from what I understand, he scored as well. So
yeah,
not only scoring on the pitch in real life, but in the virtual pitch as well.
That's a screenshot of his player right there. Just balls in the back of the net. He's celebrating down there with his blonde. He's got the same blonde hair as well. So yeah, shout out Diego, man. And this makes me like the guy. I mean, I've known this before in these stories and stuff, but this makes me like the guy even more. What a player on and off the pitch. Just what a great human being. I remember meeting him in Coachella as well. Just a wonderful human being. Class.
Yeah, man. I mean, we met his family too, and I mean, they're lovely people, and I mean, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. I mean, they're lovely people. I mean, he's lovely for doing stuff like this as well. Diego, I mean, open invitation to La Cuna Galaxiana whenever you'd like. Venite. Queremos verte acá, Dieguito. Eres nuestro amigo. Ven acá. So anyway, but this is super cool of him. Unfortunately, there was another round of Liga G matches last night, Sunday night, and La Cuna Galaxiana did not play because they had a bye week. So bye weeks, people think, hey, it's a week off. They're not fun because you don't get to play. So, but anyway, Ananda, what are the current standings like right now?
I just flashed them up right there. So yeah, we dropped out of the top 4 because we have one less game. It's almost like the Galaxy and LAFC right now in MLS, right? But we have one less game played. But we are still, Robert, we are in top 4 position. We are in the race. We are in the hunt. We are one of those teams. So that's gonna be the objective for this year, man. Getting that top 4.
Top 4 it is. And you know what? I mean, it's really cool that Liga G continues to grow, and it has those moments where people like Diego Fagundes is like, hey, I'm going to jump on. So super awesome. Super cool get for Manny and Galacticos, and also shout out to the commish, and then VGN as well, who are doing incredible work every week, putting out standings and recap videos and stuff like that. I mean, it's a great community to be a part of. And then, speaking of, the community, which we love to highlight here, because they take care of their own. There's just another instance of UGs needing to come out and comfort those in their moment in need right now. We've lost one of our own. Jesus Rafael Acedo has passed away. In memory of him, may his memory be a blessing. Not really sure about the conditions or what happened here, but GoFundMe has been set up for funeral expenses for the family. Find the link at 96ISSH on X or Twitter. That's at 96, the numbers 96 ISSH. Guys, again, I mean, one of the reasons you're such an amazing community is that in these moments you guys get out and support. Once a G, always a G. Jesus, rest, and keep on supporting from up there, man. VCFC also had a game over the weekend, even though the Galaxy was off. So Ananda, I've been calling attention to this, that they haven't been winning, and it just kind of came to a head in this last match. They lost 4-0 versus the Town FC at home at the Willie Roll on July 28th. I mean, everything looked okay at the half. They were 1-0 down at the half, still in it, managing, but in the second half, it just all went downhill. 3 more goals conceded in the second half without response, and yeah, that's the way it ended, 4-0 at home. That takes them to third in the standings with a 6-8-5 record. They're on 33 points. And like I said, they're on a massive losing streak, or like a not winning streak at the very least. They have not won in regulation the past 8 matches. Even when they have picked up points, it's been into those penalty shootouts. So that's what I mean when they haven't won in regulation. They haven't gone in and played 90 minutes and been able to win. They'll have a chance to kind of put things to rights on the road versus St. Louis City 2 on Friday, August 2nd at 4 p.m. Ananda, we say it all the time, but we definitely got to get out to the Willie Roll. There was a bunch of Galaxy players at one of the previous games. I mean, Edwin Cirio was there. Even your Theo Gregorio was there, watching the second team. I mean, that's what you want to see, the coach out there watching, who could potentially be helping the first team. So we really need to get out to the Willie Roll. This past week, a couple of G's had extracurricular activities while their teammates were on break. A couple of G's were at the All-Star game. Riqui Puig and Gabriel were selected for the All-Star game this year, and Riqui Puig took place in the passing skills challenge for the second year in a row. He set a new record this year for completing it in the least amount of time. So congratulations to Riqui. Unfortunately, the MLS All-Stars did take a big L from the Liga MX team, a 4-1 loss to Liga MX. We talk about one of those sliding door moments. You were saying serendipitous earlier. There was a moment in this match when it was 1-1 where Riqui revved up with a shot and hit the crossbar, and could have made it an entirely different match. But it's pretty cool that these two players were called and represented Los Angeles. Really cool for Gabriel as well, who got called last minute and got to represent the Galaxy. So congratulations to them. Hopefully next year, there's a lot of Galaxy players that are being considered. I know how you guys out there feel about the All-Star game, but like I said on a previous pod, it's a big honor for these players, and who knows, they could even have some contract incentives built into their contract. Like, you get a bonus if you get named to the All-Star team and stuff like that. So anyway, congratulations to these two players. So Ananda, we have a couple of pieces of I guess news in transit. I don't know how else to say it. I mean, there are things that are being announced, but they haven't been declared official yet. And this is the first one, and the first one certainly sets up the second one. So the first one, Jonny Perez, the pride of Pico Rivera. The big rumor here is that he's leaving on loan to Nashville for the remainder of the season. Nashville, of course, is looking for a replacement for Tyler Boyd, who just went down for a cruciate ligament injury. It's not a like for like, I don't believe, but they are looking for more help in that department. This one is heavily rumored. I mean, it's been on socials. Jonny's brother even published a goodbye to Jonny on Instagram, saying that he was going to Nashville. So it looks pretty certain that it's going to happen, barring some kind of complete collapse. Of course, Jonny Perez, 21, has played with the Galaxy Academy, G2, now VCFC, and came through the ranks. And he's been one of the players that I mean, you guys all know that I've been high on for a very long time. I'm glad that this is just a loan, which is what it's being reported as, a loan for the remainder of the season, and the Galaxy is not actually losing him. So this is not official yet, but again, the Galaxy, look to have loaned Jonny Perez out to Nashville. Perez has a goal and 3 assists for G2 in 5 games. And for the Galaxy, for the first team, he had 133 minutes, no assists or goals, but he looked dangerous in his cameos. There was moments where he was providing a lot of the offense or incision into the defense there. So, Ananda, what do you think about this one right here? I mean, of course, provided it actually happens.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it should come as a surprise to any of us, right, Rob? We've been thinking about, we knew that the LA Galaxy had to clear cap space for the incoming of Marco Reus, and one of the ways they were able to do that, or could be able to approach that situation, was a player departure like a Jonny Perez, someone that has value, right? I was listening to Corner Galaxy earlier, and Profe Alex was on, so shout out Alex, man. And he made a really, really good point, which is, it's a great move, not for both sides. For the LA Galaxy, it's an opportunity to develop, right? Because we can't give him the playing time as is, especially if Marco Reus comes in. So we need to develop young talent like this. And of course, it preserves or arguably might increase his value, right? We know how many Mexican clubs are sniffing around for him. We know we could probably get a better deal abroad than if we were to sell him within MLS. Alex brought up a really good point in that with the new rules, you can sell a player to Liga MX for an exchange of up to $3 million in GAM, right? And that's something really, really valuable for MLS clubs. So that's a really, really good move for the club. And then for him personally, it's development. He needs the time, right? This kid, he needs to grow and develop. We see his talent. We just can't give him the minutes. That was a really unfortunate injury when it happened, Rob, because I thought he was onto something. Greg was giving him the minutes, and then he just couldn't.
And he looked good.
And he looked good, and his body just couldn't sustain it, unfortunately. So best of luck to him, of course, if it happens. But yeah, I think it's a good move. As we've talked about a lot of these moves, Daniel Aguirre, Saldana, etc. These are good moves on both sides, and I think it's a win-win for both parties.
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, he was onto something before he got injured, and it's just unfortunate that that he got injured when he did. I mean, it happened, I believe, last year as well, where he was getting a run in and getting some minutes and then got injured as well. So, I read an article the other day about how, these young players, when they're not done growing yet, and since they're like in full development and they're still like putting all these stresses on their body, they get injured very easily. And so, I mean, I don't know if that's what's going on with Jonny, but I mean, again, this year he had a run in and he got injured last year, the same thing. And so what he really just needs is games right now. And like you said, I mean, this is good for him. He's getting some game time. He's not going to get the game time with the Galaxy, obviously, because, a certain someone's about to come in. But yeah, no, I dig this one. Hate to lose him. But fortunately it's not losing Jonny permanently. But, this does open up that space. If this does come to pass, this does open up the space for Marco Reus, the transfer that is seemingly, done but not done. I mean, this one is rivaling Joseph Paintsil level for length. And at that point, I said to you, if he wants to come, he'll come. If not, like, F him, like, move on. This one doesn't really seem like that. It just seems like they're kind of like hammering out the fine details. I believe it was yesterday, Cesar Luis Merlo, very, very reliable, reported that Marco Reus was on his way to Los Angeles on Tuesday to go ahead and complete this transfer and become an LA Galaxy player. Tons of people reported this. Again, Cesar Luis Merlo is very reliable with these things. We've brought you his updates before. And then, we wake up today and Manuel Veth, who is also very reliable, came out with an update on this transfer, saying that there was still no complete agreement between the two parties, Reus's party and the Galaxy, that is. And so he would not be in Los Angeles as soon as Tuesday to complete this move. The move is still very much looks to be on. He did confirm it. Somebody commented to him, all this for St. Louis to come in at the last moment and swoop the transfer. And he said, no, that's not going to happen. It's just a matter of the Galaxy just, finishing it. So, again, Cesar Luis Merlo reports that he's on his way. Manuel Veth says, nope, it's not done, and he's not on his way, but they're close. So that's what we know so far. I mean, we knew the Galaxy needed to move some space. They did, or it looks like they did with Jonny Perez going to Nashville, as that's as of yet unofficial. And it looks like they are well on their way to getting it done. Cesar Luis Merlo reporting, that it's going to get done on Tuesday. Manuel saying no. However, Manuel saying that it's going to get done anyway. So really, the only thing that changes here is the day. It's going to get done per both of these gentlemen, who are usually very reliable. The issue here is that's not going to happen on Tuesday. Oh well. So Galaxy fans have to wait a couple more days. They've already waited about a month and a half since this news has broken. Shout out to all the journalists involved that have been breaking news on this. I mean, the Stash, Tommy Bogert, Cesar Luis Merlo, Manuel Veth. As soon as we get an official word, we'll know something. Hopefully, we'll know a little bit more, because we do have a press availability tomorrow, Tuesday, which hopefully we'll get some information from Greg on this. But anyway, any more Reus news comes in, we'll let y'all know on the socials. Go ahead and catch the socials at La Cuna Galaxiana. You know where to find us on everything. So moving right along here on the shoutouts and announcements. Ananda mentioned that there is a friendly between a couple of English Premier League clubs at the Digs. One of them was Bournemouth, the Cherries, where they're playing Arsenal the other day, and it looks like they stuck around because they liked the environment. They were actually at a Galaxy game as well the other day, so it looks like they really have been enjoying the environment. They actually played a closed door scrimmage with the Galaxy. I believe it was on Saturday, and my colleague Rob Santona broke the exclusive on the score. I mean, this was supposed to be a closed door and not a score. Wasn't supposed to be like a reported kind of thing, but he reports it was 2-1 to the Cherries. He didn't say goal scorers, but the Galaxy did get a run in. It looks like they haven't been resting on their laurels. They're still getting some training, and it looks like they got a good friendly in against a pretty decent Premier League side. So that's a scoop right there on the Galaxy and Bournemouth friendly that ended 2-1 for the Cherries. And of course, the Galaxy are getting ready for the Leagues Cup that is already happening. Galaxy, of course, have not played their first game, but like we mentioned, this is well underway. Ananda, there have been a lot of games already, and so far the MLS is very much holding their own against their Liga MX opponents. They are now 7-1 versus Liga MX in this tournament so far. The only MLS team that's lost is the Houston Dynamo. And a couple of notables. I mean, Galaxy opponents San Jose Earthquakes and Chivas de Guadalajara broke the Leagues Cup record attendance with almost 51,000 at Levi's the other day. That was on Saturday. San Jose ended up winning in penalties with when Jeremy Abobussi gave San Jose the early lead. They thought they were on their way to their first 3 points in this tournament. Unfortunately, Roberto Alvarado stepped up in injury time to send it to penalties. Ananda, I'm not sure if you heard what happened here, but it was a CONCACAF like an MFer right here. Did you hear what happened here?
I heard it was a really, really good game. It went to PKs, obviously, but any shenanigans? I guess I didn't catch it.
So right at the end of the game, San Jose is up 1-0. Vitor, goes down with an apparent injury or a knock. Ref decides to implement the 2-minute rule where you've been down for a certain amount of time. You have to be out for 2 minutes, right?
Right. Okay, now I know what you're talking about. Yep.
Chivas scores an injury time as Vitor is off the field, and then sending this one to penalties because there is no extra time in the League's Cup. It goes from regulation to the penalties. Fortunately, San Jose, or fortunately for them, they were able to pull this one out in penalties. This one would have been a little harsh if they had lost, getting equalized in the last moment because their guy couldn't come on. So at least they're I've say this all the time, the ball doesn't lie. It doesn't seem like the ball lied on this one. So Vitor did have a little bit of poetic justice. He scored the decisive penalty for San Jose, giving them that win. So that's basically the Galaxy opponents already getting one match under their belts. And speaking of Galaxy opponents, let's break on into this match proper here. The Galaxy are playing San Jose, their oldest rival, in another edition of the California Clasico. Let's look at the standings real quick, Ananda.
There it is.
So like we mentioned, San Jose and the original Chivas have already played a match. San Jose leads the group after that penalty shootout win in the first match. However, because it was a penalty shootout win, they only get 2 points. Chivas gets 1 point for the loss. Galaxy have not played a match and so sit in third. Galaxy get a result. Galaxy get a win against San Jose, and basically at that point it's their group to lose, if they get a win. So it's very important to come out with the right mentality and get this win. So match day 1, LA versus San Jose. Wednesday's match marks the 102nd edition across all editions of the California Clasico, and LA leads the all-time series 49, 33, 19 in 45 all-time regular season road matches played against the Earthquakes. The Galaxy hold a 16, 18, and 11 record. They haven't lost to the Earthquakes in their last 7 meetings. They're also unbeaten in the last 6 matches played on the road against San Jose, dating back to June 26, 2021. And they are unbeaten this year against the Earthquakes. They've played 3 times already. Then 3-0-0, 10 goals for against. Of course, the last one was that 3-0 just about a month ago. I believe it was during Copa America time, right? So it wasn't that long ago. Galaxy win 3-0. One of the games that started Joseph Paintsill's kind of like road back to being in form. Ananda, let's look at some injuries. What do we got on the injury front?
Yeah, so at least on our side, I think these for the Galaxy casualties we know about Dan Jovic, Gaston Brugman, and Julian Aude. So I think nothing new there. Those are the guys that were out even before in MLS play. And then on the San Jose Earthquake side, so a couple of Rob just talked about Vitor. So he was on the injury list and he came back. I don't know how recently, but he was available for the last match. Obviously scored the winning penalty there in the PKs. And of course, Daniel, which is, I think, a big addition for them, Robert. That was their starting goalkeeper at the beginning of the year. He was out. He wasn't even expected, maybe even before the year, but he did return in the last game and did save a penalty as well and put in a good performance. So those two we have crossed out the list because those are now additions back into the team. Other than that, Carlos Acapo, Jamar Ricketts, and Marcin Kowski, which I believe that's the other keeper, right? So they've been decimated by injuries and their keeper. We talked about that, I believe, the last pod before we previewed San Jose. So yeah, that's that is the injury front on for both teams. And then, of course, Robert, of course, we'll get any updates tomorrow of anything fresh, but nothing that we know of at this moment.
Yeah, you mentioned Daniel making his return. I mean, he was big against Chivas. He faced 22 shots and made 5 saves. I mean, he's been out since March 22nd. I mean, hamstring injury. You were right. He was due for a lengthy spell on the sidelines, but he looks like he made a comeback way before he was supposed to. Might be a different ball game in this match. I mean, it's going to be a different ball game anyway, because it's going to be the Leagues Cup, which kind of brings us to our next discussion. Chat, we want to know from you, what is the goal here, or the top priority in the Leagues Cup? Should the Galaxy just disregard it? Should they tank it because they should be focusing on MLS Cup and the league, or should they go all out to win a trophy? Let us know what you think in the chat. We actually brought this up last week on the pod. We actually
had someone in chat brought it up, and so I was like, yeah, this is an interesting one. We're definitely going to revisit this. So yeah, definitely revisiting it now. So and it's interesting because for me, I don't want to spoil anything, but my thought has changed a little bit, Rob. But anyways, I'm going to turn it back to you because I know you wanted to set up a few things.
Well, we had another week to dwell on this, right? So, and like you said, something's changed already for you in that week. So, really quick before we answer this question, what's on the line here? Quite simply, a trophy is on the line. The Galaxy has not won a trophy in more than a decade here. So the two teams that reached, as well as a trophy, the two teams that reached the Leagues Cup final earned berths in the CONCACAF Champions Cup, along with the winner of the third place match. Also, with Champion Cup spots up for grabs, the Leagues Cup success serves as a key pathway towards the FIFA Club World Cup. So you got to think that with the Galaxy's profile and their history and their legacy and their importance to MLS, that they want to be in something like the Club World Cup, right? I mean, it's just, a chance for the Galaxy to play against, storied European clubs like Real Madrid, the Milans, man, I'm not going to say Manchester City's a storied European club, but they've had recent successes. So anyway, it's not insignificant for the Galaxy to win this tournament, right? But should they? Should they prioritize it given what they're trying to do in the league? If you go by what MLS.com is saying, the Galaxy is actually a contender for this trophy. They did kind of like a tiered system, like they like to do. The first tier was the favorites. You had your Inter Miamis, you had your Pachucas, your Club America, Columbus, and then you had the Galaxy in the second tier in the contenders category. You RSL's in there, Puebla's in there, some other clubs like that. So they're ranked in the second tier. And really, it's doable if they go for it. They have the players to actually go out and win this trophy if they really, really took it seriously. But again, should they? Ananda, what are your thoughts on this one?
Well, I'm going to go with chat first, and then I actually want to hear you because, like I said, my mind has changed a little bit. Let's see if you guys change my mind a little bit more. But Tony Toscano says, take all competition seriously, take every game seriously. It's Chris says, give the bench the start, and he said main squad second half. Interesting. One and only Rocio says, take it seriously, but keep your guys safe. Good point. We might come back to that. GCam says, all out, need to win. GCam just going gung-ho saying, let's go for it. Raul G says, go for the wins. If you got a good team, go for it all. And yeah, I think those are some good points. I think those are points that I've thought about as well. But I'm going to go to you first, Rob. What do you think, like, gut? Well, first of all, has your opinion changed from a week ago when we talked about this? And what's your feeling on it now?
I think it's changed just a little bit. Not tremendously. Again, this is the Los Angeles Galaxy that hasn't won a trophy in a long time. So if there's a chance to win a trophy, I think you got to take that chance. But the big thing here is again, what's your priority? I mean, are you prioritizing this tournament over what you're trying to do in the league? And I really think that to keep doing what you're doing in the league, you have to make sure that your key contributors are leaving this tournament healthy. So that's the big thing here is do you risk the your starters, your key contributors, and try to go out there and win this tournament, or do you trust your depth to go out there and go out and get a result? I can't answer that question for you because I'm not Greg Vanney. If it were me, I would try to take a kind of like a middle of the road where I would do a mix of starters and youth. Starters that have absolutely no knocks, no trouble at all. Go with them, and then youth as well. But again, I mean, not at the expense of health of your main contributors, your team. That's my stance. I mean, I think that Greg's just got to walk a very, very fine line.
Yeah, I was just trying to look up how many wins again do we need to win Leagues Cup? Is it 6? I can't remember. After the knockout. Well, after knockout's 4.
It goes to a round of 32. So
32.
It'll be round of 32, quarterfinal, semifinal,
4,
final,
and the final. So 4.
Yeah. So 6 total.
6 games, right? So so here's the thing, man. Like last week when the last time we did this, I said, not maybe a little bit lower on the priority, and essentially take every game seriously. The one thing I said was complacency, right? That's what I don't want to set in, is a complacent mentality. And then, actually Galaxy put out a couple things. So they put out that Our Galaxy, it was a recap of the first half of the season. And it sort of made me realize like the journey of how we got here, which is really good. It kind of recapped everything and sort of gave me a reference point of where we were, right, just 6 months ago, which is insane. And then I remembered something that you said about Vanney's press conference. And this was in relation to a different conversation we had around, is the Galaxy, are they an elite team, right? And so I went back to that press conference and I was like, Greg Vanney said something really, really interesting. And I want to pull this up because this is kind of what made me change my mind a little bit. So take a look, guys.
Yeah, I agree. I think, for the quantity of good chances we created and how, in a way, soft the goals were that we gave up, that's the issue, right? And that's something that just has to be clean. And I'll go back to just saying, okay, in the league, sometimes you can get away with that, but in a knockout tournament, you can't do that, whether it's MLS Cup or Leagues Cup or any of those kinds of things. It's a high risk, type of scenario. And we just have to, again, as we go through the last part of the season, this tournament and final 8 games, it's finding the balance between opening it up and doing the things that we do and what makes us really dangerous, and also managing sort of control of the game, because of, in the knockout tournament, one mistake can knock you out of the whole thing. And so we've got to make sure that we're mindful of that as we keep pushing here down the stretch.
So I thought that was really interesting, and Greg touched on a lot of things. One thing he talked about was sort of finding the balance. The other thing he talked about was the deficiency of this team, right? He says, going throughout the league, we've shown now, Robert, in 26 games, we're a good team in the league. I mean, we're pretty consistent for the most part. Yes, we have those odd games like the clip that we posted the other day. You talked about those 5 losses that never should have happened, right? Chicago, Austin, etc. And then later, Greg also talks about, how do we evolve this team to be a knockout champion type of team and not just a team that can just win games during the season. So then, Robert, that made me think, like, I feel like we should use this Leagues Cup opportunity as a measuring stick, as a test of, is this team capable of winning at least 4 games in a row in a knockout style competition with a lot of good teams in that competition, against teams that we'll probably face in the Western Conference getting into that final, right? We're definitely going to see LAFC. We're going to see teams like Portland and maybe other aggressive teams that we might see in this Liga MX, right? So now I'm thinking, I've kind of switched my position, kind of did a little pivot, and I'm saying, I think for example, and this is a great lead into the lineups, right? Because if we're going to take this competition seriously, my view is that we've got to put our strongest lineup. we've got to see like how does this team react in a cup competition? Because reality is MLS Cup, that's a cup competition. So we've got to learn how to win, how to find ways to win, manage those situations correctly. So for example, I look at the one San Jose game that we had at home. That was the 4-2. We did not manage that game well, Rob, at all,
4-3.
right? 4-3. And those are the games that we have to avoid. And this is what Greg is talking about. We can't let in, if we let in soft goals like that in this tournament or an MLS Cup, we're done. Like, that's it. And that's why teams like FC Cincinnati, teams like Columbus, teams like LAFC right now are probably in the pundits' eyes, the elite, sort of the main contenders for MLS Cup. So I'm looking at this now as an opportunity to say, this is a really good measuring stick now for this team. I think that Greg should use should take full advantage of this. And put out the strongest team possible. And you know what? The whole if the blowback for me is going to be, well, there's going to be injury concerns. Well, manage it like you've been managing in the season. I mean, we've been managing well. We have a squad. We have a full enough squad in the attack. Even in the defensive areas, we've got a 4 center back rotation. It's not like last year, Rob. We're not coming into this tournament like we did last year, ravaged with injuries. Starting at that time, Mitrovic was our 3rd string keeper, right? If I'm not mistaken, I can't remember if we sold. I think he was our 3rd string keeper. So it's a completely different situation, and I look at this more as an opportunity versus something that we might want to be conservative about. But that's just me.
Interesting, because you're basically describing it kind of like a dress rehearsal for MLS Cup and MLS playoffs. And really quick to answer Billy Fong here, Big Bill, what's up? This is new to MLS. It's the MLS Cup, the equivalent to the FA Cup in England. No, Bill, it's the championship. It's the title winner, basically. MLS has their regular season where you can win something called the Supporter Shield for taking the most points in the league and being the best in the league. But then there is also the playoffs where you face a knockout style tournament culminating in the MLS Cup final, and whoever wins the MLS Cup final is the league champion. Kind of wacky, I know, but the League's Cup is even just another tournament recently created to go ahead and try to pit MLS and Liga MX teams together to see who is the best one, i.e. also to make a lot of paper for the leagues. So anyway, that's a really quick recap there. Ananda, what's the worst and best case scenario for you for the Leagues Cup? And this one is for chat too. I'll give you mine really quick. Best case, they win a trophy. The Galaxy gets that first taste of silverware. They get that winning mentality. They people have said that winning is contagious. Once you get the taste, you want it more. Establish that winning mentality in the locker room, and they, a couple months from now, they win their 2nd trophy because they just loved it so much, and they pick up MLS Cup for the 6th. Worst case scenario, injuries. That's the big one, and then getting knocked out early again. I mean, you mentioned going for it, right? You mentioned saying, okay, this is a dress rehearsal for MLS Cup. For whatever reason, the Galaxy go in there and they lay a couple eggs again, and they get knocked out early. Then they face the prospect of having almost I believe their next match is on the 25th against Atlanta, so they would go from the 4th of August to the 25th of August with no competitive matches. So I think that's the other worst case scenario here, is that they actually go for it. They don't come up roses, and they get knocked out early, giving them about 3 weeks off. So what about Freeman?
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm in line. I think we've got to avoid getting knocked out in the group stage. I think that would be a worst case scenario for me. Like you said, winning breeds confidence. I think losing also gets in your head as well, and it breeds, a losing mentality. And one thing I want to get back to too is, Robert, is one part of rebuilding this identity of this team is a winning mentality, a winning culture, right? That's part of rebuilding the identity. That's part of the identity of this team. We've been the gold standard in this league since the inception of this league. And so we've got to rebuild that winning identity, man. And so that to me, and this is why the best case would be Not even necessarily winning, lifting the trophy, although that's like ultimate nirvana, but I think just progressing through the stages and finding ways to win and managing games, especially you're going to face some really tough opposition, especially in the knockout rounds against potentially Liga MX teams. And Liga MX teams, man, they're tough. They're going to be like your LAFCs, your Columbuses, your FC Cincinnati's if we see them in the finals, right? So those are really, really good litmus tests. And I want to see this team against those teams so that we learn, even if we don't win, let's say it's a cruel knockout and a penalty and we get bounced out, that learning experience, I think, is going to pay dividends, I think, in MLS Cup.
Yeah, I mean, you learn, but what do I all say? When you lose, don't learn the lesson. Don't lose the lesson. Also, Dave Chappelle said that, and also the Dalai Lama said that. So, yeah, I mean, these are all lessons that they pick up. I mean, they go ahead and they take this tournament seriously. They progress well, and say they make it to like the semifinal and get knocked out by, a Club America or a Pachuca or a Monterrey. These are all moments that these players are going to need to take the next step. I mean, being there in those moments, high pressure moments, so that the next time they're there, they can overcome them. But I mean, for me, again, this is all culminates in having those prestige spots at stuff like the Club World Cup. I mean, not only is it a trophy, but you get the visibility of playing against these prestige and legacy European clubs. But anyway, regarding lineups, Ananda, I mean, you said since they're going for it, since you're advocating them going for it, what are you seeing in terms of a lineup?
I'm saying the same lineup that we're seeing right now, Rob, which is our strongest at this point. Remember, we're without Decky, so Paint still in that number 9 position, and then everyone in their normal positions. Obviously, Julian Julian is out. We've got to play Johnny Nelson in there, Yamane at the right, and then at the center backs again. I'm okay with Yoshida and Cáceres. I'm okay with Yoshida and Neal. I'm pretty comfortable with all the center back partnerships. I think the one thing that's going to be interesting here is, does Greg give the nod to Mitrovic or not? I think that's going to be a big decision. I'm not sure there. I could see the merits of doing both. I think it's going to be more interesting probably in the knockout phases versus the first 2 stages of the group. But that for me is like my only like question mark. But other than that, man, go with your strongest lineup. Go with what's with on the screen right now. Say that 10 times fast. But yeah, like we did against Portland.
You also once upon a time brought up, I believe this is about a month ago, when the Leagues Cup was still on the horizon. Something interesting that I want to bring back up right now. You mentioned maybe seeing a 3 at the back, with Garces, Jalen Neal, and Maya Yoshida, and what that could do to this Galaxy lineup. I mean, I don't really see that happening right now with the present personnel, but that's another interesting look. I mean, you mentioned Greg's last time we spoke about the League Cup. You mentioned Greg maybe trying new tactics, trying new formations. Well, that 3-5-2, who knows? I mean, getting a little bit more control in the midfield against these Mexican clubs might not be a bad thing. So something to watch for. San Jose, I'm expecting to go with the same starting 11 as they did against Chivas de Guadalajara. If they don't broke, don't fix it. I mean, Chivas had won just once in their last 10 matches before the Leagues Cup, and so they finally got a victory in whatever form, so I don't expect them to change up too much here. Ananda, you had a couple of stats as well to kind of to highlight from that match, from the Chivas and San Jose match, right?
Yeah, well, before that, so these are the stats, guys. I pulled these up before we played San Jose. I think the one thing I wanted to highlight here was, San Jose, I think in recent times, remember, Lucci just got fired at that time. The last time we played them, they were pretty much low in every statistical category, although they were creating enough chances. Of course, when you have a guy like Espinosa on your team, you're always going to create chances. But the thing that I wanted to highlight was just the goalie, right? And I think we talked about this earlier, but Daniel's inclusion now is a really, really big addition, a really big plus for them. Daniel last year was really, really high in those post-shot XG numbers. He prevented a lot of goals from happening this year. That's not been the case, but it looks like, at least recently, yes, San Jose has had a really bad record recently, but they haven't given up more than 2 goals in any of their last, I believe, 5 or 6 games. So this is going to be a tough out, guys, and especially at their camp, right? This is an away game, so that's going to be tough as well. Something to consider when we think about the predictions. But Rob, if you said to me, what are the stats that you want to see coming out of this next game? I want us to be in red, just like Chivas Guadalajara, right? They dominated this game on the stats. From a stats perspective, as you can see on 22 total shots versus their 7. They had 6 on target versus 2. But of course, in the end, it's about bearing your chances, right? And in the end, the one goal that San Jose had was a peach of a cross by none other than Cristian Espinoza. We know that his delivery is wicked. Laid it on a plate for a Bobise. And to be fair to, again, Daniel and his defensive team, they played well defensively, funny enough. And again, at Chivas, right, in that stadium in Guadalajara in Mexico, it's tough. That's a tough place to play, and they did a pretty good job. So
They actually played Levi's.
Oh, right. They played Levi's. That's right. Well, again, in either case, Chivas.
It was still a home match basically for Chivas.
Well, and I'm sure the conditions also, replicated that of Mexico, right? But given that they, playing against that Mexican team, Liga MX sides are always good, are always aggressive, always known for their energy, and San Jose played a pretty darn good game. Again, Daniel had a big part to do with that. So again, coming into this game, it's going to be tough. I think you can't really look at San Jose's league record as much. I think when you're entering a cup competition, it's like Jekyll and Hyde almost. Like teams can get hot.
It's a whole different thing.
It's a whole different thing. So we can't take too much stock in their league form. We've got to take this game pretty seriously.
Houston wasn't great last year when they went on the run in the league.
That's right. And they got hot.
And they got hot. So it's conceivable, not probable, but just taking everything into account and San Jose's season. But they do have the pieces to go and be dangerous. We've spoken about them a bunch of times. Danger men for San Jose. Guys, the Galaxy have played against San Jose 3 times already this year. You know what their weapons are. Cristian Espinoza, we just spoke about him. Wicked delivery, fantastic playmaker. He's sitting on 11 assists right now with 3 goals. He served up the cross for Jeremy Obibise, who scored against Chivas in the league this year. He has 4 goals and he has an assist. Hernan Lopez, who is trying to make his own name for himself, not being Diego Maradona's nephew. He has 4 goals and 2 assists. Amal Pellegrino, 5 goals, and Vitor, who we've spoken about a couple times already tonight, 2 goals and 3 assists. So they do have the weapons. They have scored a couple goals on the Galaxy. I believe that first one was a 3-1. That second game was a 4-3. So they can't hurt the Galaxy. They have found ways to score against the Galaxy. Just word to the wise. This one for me has like mini trap game written on it because they've beaten San Jose 3 times already. They are supposed to beat them on paper. Everything is pointing to a Galaxy win, which again, just kind of gives me like the trap game vibes. But I'm not gonna go down that route. I'm not gonna be negative. But if there's a danger man for San Jose, obviously there's got to be one for the Galaxy. Ananda, who's yours?
Well, actually, it's not going to be danger man. It's going to be danger men, Robert. And this answer may or may not surprise you. But again, I'm thinking of Greg's comments a little bit in this, and it's I guess I'm going to say the spine of the team. What do I mean by that? So I'm looking at Edwin Cerrillo, whoever plays in that DM position, right? Protecting the back 4 and the center back partnership and the goalie as well. But really that spine of that team, Robert, because I'm looking at, again, thinking about Greg's comments, I'm looking at that as, okay, how did those guys manage the game? How do they snuff out dangerous situations? How do they, prevent essentially the other team from scoring? And there's so many little sort of games within the game itself. But I'm going to be paying more attention to that, to be honest, in the offense. To me, the offense, we've been on a really good streak. The offense kind of takes care of itself. If we move the ball around, if we get in the right positions, if we don't give the ball away in our own zone and create in transition, which we've done all year, we'll be fine. I'm not as worried about that. I'm more looking at how do we manage the game, the other side of the ball, which we haven't been good at this year, right? So I'm looking at the spine of that team, man, including, whoever starts at the DM. I'm guessing it's Eddie, along with the center back partnership, and how that unit works together along with the rest of the back four. So that's what I'm going to be looking at this game.
Well, since you flipped it into what you're going to be looking at, I guess I'll do the same thing. I'm going to be looking at Riqui Puig. Everybody knows his quality. Everybody knows he can be dangerous. But one of the things we've spoken about on this pod is, will he be the player that Greg Vanney needs him to be for the Galaxy to be successful? At the moment, still remains to be seen whether he can maintain the positional discipline that Greg wants to maintain the balance in this team. If Riqui Puig can go ahead and unlock that, if he can go ahead and find the right balance to go ahead and give Greg what he wants, and the Galaxy just goes from a contender in this tournament to being a big challenger for this tournament. I think that's been Greg's kind of like conundrum all year. How do I get the best of Riqui Puig? I mean, everybody knows he's on another level. His skill set is unique, but how does he get that particular unique skill set into the best position, into the best available form to help the team? So I think that if Greg can figure that out, Riqui Puig is the danger man for the Galaxy. Chat, we are getting to prediction time, so start dropping those predictions there in the chat for us. We'll go ahead and let you know what we're thinking as well. But before we do, we have some betting odds from Casino Ananda. Bet responsibly.
Not Casino Ananda, but this is from Per Surface Score. So the odds right now, and I pulled these up this morning, plus 230 for the San Jose Quakes. That is a 30% chance. And the LA Galaxy, Robert, at a plus 100, 50% as the road team, 50% probability there. So mini trap game written all over it for sure. I don't know if it's mini now, seeing those betting odds.
Jesus.
But yeah, man. Again, I'm assuming they're taking into the MLS sort of record behind this. But again, this is a different game, different competition. Their goalkeeper
These
is back.
were from this morning?
Those are from this morning. I just
wow.
That's why,
taking into consideration their win over Chivas and everything. These are the highest odds I've ever seen for an away team.
I feel like we had the same odds with the games that we shouldn't have lost as well. If I remember Chicago, maybe the last San Jose game as well. Just trying to think of definitely those games. We had similar odds, but yeah, trap game written all over it. And I'm like surprised that they're not taking into consideration this is a completely different competition. Anyways, I don't think this is going to be as easy of a game as the predictions call it. But yeah, man. Well, what are you calling? I'm going to see if chat has their predictions, but I don't know. I can't remember who went first. Honestly, it's been a week, bro. Like I don't remember who went first last time, but
I'll go first. I'm calling a 3-0 Galaxy win.
Oh, emphatic.
Yeah, they need to come out and establish themselves in this tournament. Not only that, but they are going to play a traditional powerhouse of CONCACAF soccer in Chivas on Sunday. So they need to go into that with tasting victories. So I think they're going to go ahead and take it to San Jose again. I mean, the last one was 3-0. I'm calling another 3-0.
Wow. That's bold, man. I'm going to go for, I'm going to be confident. So I'm going to go 2-0. I was thinking about 2-1, but no, 2-0 sounds about right for me. Oh, remember something to think about, guys, is they played, when did they play, Rob? 2 days ago now. So they're on shortened, obviously a lot shorter break than we are. They're playing their second game. We're playing our first match day in this tournament. So I think that's going to play a little bit of a part. And yeah, I think we're just gonna come out fresh. I mean, we've had a long layoff now, and I think the guys are ready. Like you said, I feel confident coming into this game. San Jose is gonna possess a threat, but as we saw in the last, I was watching the highlights coming in, preparing for this podcast of the last 3-0 victory that we had. To be fair to them, they had their chances in the first half, but our quality just outshone them, and I think that is.
Preston had a bunch of chances.
Preston had chances. Even their center back had a really good chance. They had a lot of really good chances, man, in that first half. They just couldn't put one away. But yeah, I think our quality, I think their inability to finish in the final third and our ability to hit them in the break and finish in the final third like we did in the game up in San Jose last time, I think that's going to be the difference. So 2-0 for me.
Well, 3-0 for me, a 2-0 for you. Roughneck Jihad says we own San Jose 4-0. Ramiza says agreed 3-0.
2-0 para mí.
Hey, yeah. I like what I'm hearing. I like the confidence, and you know what? I think the Galaxy are going to come in with the same confidence as well. Well, guys, you know that this is the first match of the Leagues Cup for the Galaxy after San Jose. The Galaxy is back at home, but they will not be the home team because of the way this Leagues Cup works.
So weird.
Chivas de Guadalajara is actually higher seeded, and they will be the home team in this match, even though it is at the Galaxy's home. Yes, Ananda just said so weird. Yes, absolutely so weird.
From the crowd, it might end up being a Chivas. I remember that Leon game very well last year, and it was definitely a pro Leon crowd. It's probably going to be the same as well.
Oh yeah, it's definitely going to be very, very heavily pro Chivas, but that's where all you Galaxy fans come in. But again, I mean, the Galaxy need to face all kinds of hostile environments or environments anyway to go ahead and win MLS Cup. So I mean, if it's going to start with a quote unquote home non-home game, so be it. So they'll be back at home, but not the home team, like I mentioned, against Chivas de Guadalajara, the original Chivas, on Sunday, August 4th at 7:30 p.m. This will be the return of Chicha to the digs. Javier Chicharito Hernandez will be playing in this match. He did not feature against San Jose, and Fernando Gago did say that he wanted Chicharito fit and firing for his return in Los Angeles. So it looks like he will be playing in that match. So the return of Chicharito at the digs. It'll be interesting to see what kind of reaction he gets, whether he gets boos, whether he gets love. I mean, I really don't know. I mean, I heard the Galaxy fans boo Kevin Cabral the other day, who really hadn't done anything wrong except score on him. But anyway,
yeah.
So
and we'll see if Aguirre gets some playing time as well. I'm sure he's going to receive a lovely reception though when he steps on the field. That I can guarantee.
Yeah, Aguirre will definitely get some love. And we'd be remiss if we didn't mention him. He's going to be coming back home as well. Daniel Aguirre. He hasn't featured a tremendous amount for Chivas so far, so who knows whether he'll get game time. But we know that Chicharito will get some game time. It would just be the Galaxy's luck, right, to cough up a 95th minute goal to Chicharito to lose 1-0. But that'll be happening on Sunday, August 4th at 7:30. Of course, we will bring you a San Jose reaction / Chivas preview pod on Thursday, August 1st at 9 p.m. And no matter what happens in that Chivas match, we'll bring you our reaction pod on Monday, August 5th. And guys, we really don't know what lies beyond that for the Galaxy. So far, we know that their last official match in the Leagues Cup is August 4th. And then, depending on how they do, they would have no competitive games again until the 25th against Atlanta. Hopefully, they do make it out of the group. Their next potential game would be on August 7th, 8th, or 9th. So go ahead and watch the space for more information on when the next Galaxy game is. Ananda, anything to add before we get on out of here?
I'm just trying to look at what chat is saying. Yeah, I love that conversation though about the Leagues Cup, and I'm just gonna this is kind of what I'm thinking in my head.
Absolutely.
But Tony Toscano says if we're first in the conference, it is imperative in all caps that we take this tournament seriously. And that's what I'm saying, man. I think we've got to take this tournament seriously. I think we've got to put us our strongest lineup. I trust Greg he's been risk averse all year, so I don't expect that to change. But if we have a chance of winning this tournament, I think he's gonna use this as a learning opportunity. Like I said, this is really, really good experience for this group. Remember, Rob, this group has only been together for 6 months now, 7 months. And they're still learning how to win. And what a great competition, a knockout competition to be that evolution of the next phase of this team, like Greg Vanney said in those comments. So can't wait to see it, man. Looking forward to it.
Well, I think that's all from us. Really quick, we had Alex in the chat ask anyone know if viewing parties were going on for the San Jose game. Not quite sure, Alex. I know one of the people to ask about a viewing party over here on this side of the city would be Tony Toscano, who is regularly at the York. But I'm not sure if there are any official viewing parties at the moment. So go ahead and watch supporter group socials for that. They usually put out a couple graphics in the days leading up to that. So and then we'll also try to repost and reshare and stuff like that, so that this Galaxy community can get together and show their love for their team. Tony Toscano says the York tomorrow is possible. So there you go. The York looks like it's in play. Alex, I don't know what side of the city you stay on, but again, go ahead and check out those supporter group socials, and they'll go ahead and post where they're going to be at. Ananda, I think that's it. Anything else to add?
No, man. Let's get out of here.
Órale, pues. Vámonos con todo el amor que tenemos en nuestros corazones. We want to say thank you once again, guys, for hanging out with us. You know where to find us, youtube.com/@La Cuna Galaxiana, and you can also find us at La Cuna Galaxiana on all the socials. Man, we love you guys. Thank you for being here. One thing left to say. G